No Jokic, no Gordon, big problems. The Denver Nuggets lose to the Houston Rockets 128 to 108. Jokic pregame says his elbow isn't feeling good. They decide to hold him out for this game. I think I saw versus the Dallas Mavericks kind of when it happened, or maybe might have been the game before that, but I remember him shaking his arm out. It was bothering him a little bit today. Aaron Gordon wanted to make sure his calf doesn't have any more lingering issue. Keep him out on the second night of a back-to-back. The Nuggets lose their first game on the second night of a back-to-back this season. They get drum rolled by an offensive firepower from the Houston Rockets, from Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün, Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet, Cam Whitmore, you name it. Y'all, not the game you were hoping you were going to get, but ultimately, I actually don't think this game means anything. We'll talk about more here. Lock in. The Denver Nuggets lose 128-108, y'all. And guess what? It's all cool. Like, honestly, I sat back and I was watching the Denver Nuggets respond to this, and I'm like, look, I think when you're watching on this end, whether you're a fan of the team, of a player, or if you're working in media, it's really easy to get caught in like, okay, this is an important game to us. It's the 4 seed versus the 2 seed. You win this game, you keep streaking, blah, 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 woo-de-woo, but whatever. But y'all, I really had to sit back and realize, y'all, there's 42 games left in the season after this point. There's 42 games left in the year. Nothing that's happening tonight ultimately is going to make that big of a difference. Now, the Nuggets, they lose this game. They fall to 24-16. The Rockets, I think, are going to go 27-12. So they're going to be about 3.5 games back, or maybe 4.5 games back. I think it might be 4.5 games back of the Houston Rockets in the rankings for the 2 seed. But the thing is, with 42 games, and especially how they've been playing for the last few weeks, like, honestly, that's not really that big of a lead. That's not that big of a gap. And the team is showing, like, I've been tracking all this stuff. Like, they've been performing like a top 3 team really the last 15, 12 games, but also just really since the start of January. They have been doing really well. They have taken care of business on both ends of the basketball. They've been playing very consistent. But, sometimes you're going to have these spots. And I think before anything else, that's what I wanted to at least say to you all, that definitely get it's frustrating. You wish they would have been able to win tonight's game. That was important. Like, I think this is important for the standings. It's important for us to be able to kind of sit there and watch the team play well and do all this and that. But at the end of the day, it really just truly doesn't matter all that much. But I'm actually really curious. Jamal Murray actually had a good game today, y'all. He did. He's, again, last game, shot really well today. 8 of 14 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 5 assists. Now he had 5 turnovers. Russell Westbrook had 5 turnovers, and they were all in the first quarter, basically. He had 4 in the first quarter. Jamal actually was just trying to get people in, like, he was getting a lot of ball pressure. He lost the ball in dribble situations later on in the game, but the game was kind of out of hand. Like, overall, Murray and Westbrook had 10 turnovers between them two. That's just too high. Like, you want them to be around 4, maybe 6, but 10 is way too much. And especially for this Rockets team, they were running in transition tonight. So the more you turn the ball over, the more opportunities they got tonight. The Rockets had 25 fast break points. The Nuggets had 7. So, again, no Jokic, obviously a big difference. The Rockets had 15 second chance points and 56 points in the paint. So everything went the Rockets' way today because the Nuggets, their defense just wasn't good enough. The funny thing is, the Rockets are a very good defensive team. The Nuggets had a 117.4 offensive rating. Their offense was 5. Their defense was a 137.6 defensive rating, and they gave up a 119.5 defensive rating in the half court and a 125 defensive rating in transition. Like, that's the kind of stuff you just cannot deal with. Like, simply, you just cannot deal with. I think that if the Nuggets had not turned the ball over crazy today, they actually would have been in the game for a majority of it. But the Nuggets had 18 turnovers tonight. 18 turnovers for the Nuggets and 22 assists. At one point, they had 9 assists to 12 turnovers. Another point, they had 16 assists to 16 turnovers. Like, you just can't do that in these situations. But again, not a big deal. It's not a big deal overall for the course of the year. I get it. So I don't want to overblow what tonight was. No Jokic, no Gordon, right before tip off too. So that obviously changed the complexion of what was going to happen for there on out. But the thing that I do know that sticks in my craw is Dario Saric. Now, let me listen to this. So Christian Brown minus 17. He had 22 points on 10 of 11 today, 2 or 3 from 3. Played really well, especially in the second half. Michael Porter had 8 points, y'all. 4 of 7 from the free throw line. You know, Porter just doesn't. He has these games where without Jokic, he just looks not really usable. And I think that's really unfortunate because obviously Porter's a very good player, very valuable player, but you don't love that he cannot create on his own. He cannot dribble, penetrate consistently. He can't get by people consistently. You know, he's getting fed an off-ball cutting, or you know, he's running down screens or for pin downs to get him open to the three-point line. You love it, but it also is just a little problematic because obviously he's so dependent on other people. And so today he only had 8 points, and they just needed more from him. He was a minus 20. DeAndre Jordan minus 19 today. He had a really good first quarter, 8 rebounds. He had 8 rebounds and 0 points today. He worked Albert Şengün early and then got worked later on in the game. Russell Westbrook, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Like I said, 5 turnovers, minus 15. Jamal Murray, minus 17, but an efficient game from him, 22 and 5, in line with his season averages, 22, 5, and 3. Peyton Watson, 10 points today, minus 7. His defense wasn't as good as it needed to be today. Julian Strawther, 10 points, minus 4. He was 2 of 6 from 3, 3 of 9 from the field. And then Jalen Pickett, minus 3. He played some, decent minutes today. He played 18 minutes. They didn't absolutely bomb in the minutes he was on the court. He actually had a good defensive possession, too, in this game. But Dario Saric, man, I really don't know how to declare, like, Dario Saric had 8 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds today, and I'm telling you, that is one of the most deceptive lines you will see. Like, Dario just cannot defend anything. Cannot defend. It's so hard for him to finish, and I just don't understand. Like, it continues to baffle me that Booth looked into the offseason knowing that Jokic isn't a very good rim defender, and then got a player who's even worse at rim defense than him, and also not the offensive hub. I think for me that just doesn't make sense. Now, again, maybe pairing him with Deron Holmes would have made a difference, but even then, he's the 6th highest paid player on the roster. Zeke Naji got bent he got end of game minutes today, 5 minutes and 50 seconds today. So Dario Saric and Zeke Naji are the 5th and 6th highest paid players on the roster, and they're unplayable. Like, that is out of hand for me. That is such a big deal when you're already cap strong. So they're already cap strong. They need more rotation players they can go to off the bench. You need consistent play when Jokic is off the court. And you got your 5th and 6th highest paid player, more than Brown, more than Westbrook, more than Peyton Watson. Those are that right there is your 5 through 8. Like, Russell Westbrook is your 6th starter. Facts. Julian Strawther, Peyton Watson, that's your top 8. And then you got DeAndre Jordan. He's 36 years old. Your 5th and 6th highest paid player are Saric and their Zeke, and they're not playable. Like, and I know the Nuggets are actively they're in talks with teams about trades and all that, and so they would have to be paired with other players to get off those deals, but they're functionally just not. It just doesn't make sense it doesn't to me make sense that when you're trying to win on the margins, that you have players that are just not good on this roster and have no place and no purpose on this roster. And I think this is actually having a negative effect on the team. They're like, hey, we need more guys that can play. We need guys that we can trust. We need guys that can do the job. We need guys that can do this, that can do that, can defend, that can switch. And they can't play. Like Zeke, I've seen him do it. Like I said, the championship year, I'll always go back to the Pacers game where it was Zeke Naji, it was Jamal Murray, Bruce Brown, Christian Brown, and KCP and Jeff Green, and they were rolling. They were playing defense, getting dunks, running around, hitting shots. And I'm like, yeah, Zeke, that's what it needs to look like. But he's just lost it. He's not that player. He hasn't developed. And then Sarge, it's just bad. So for me, that's the biggest complaint. I'm cool. They lost. No Jokic, no Murray right before the game. Cool. 42 games left in the year. We're at the midway season. This team is well positioned to be the 2 seed this year. They're that good. Despite all the injuries. Despite not having the games where they've all played together. But it's just wild to me. But y'all, Nuggets fans, just don't trip tonight. Honestly, I would just throw this game. Well, y'all know I don't even think like that because y'all know I try to like analyze everything. Everything's important. Things matter. But I'm saying tonight, throw it away. Don't let this make you go to bed annoyed. Don't wake up in the morning annoyed about it. Realize the context of the situation. And what I loved that the veterans were encouraging the other players that were in the game. And when they would make a play, they were showing them love. They were, obviously clapping and high-fiving. Like this team, they were talking like Russ was joking with Jalen Green, who had a great game today. Alperen Sengun had a really good second through fourth quarter as well. Like the team was just, it just is what it is. Like you have these games in the NBA. Like the Celtics just got blown out by double digits to the Toronto Raptors, who had won 9 games this whole year. They got blown out. And they had a fully healthy starting 5 in the game. Like that is an actual like game to be worried about. In this game, you're missing the best player in the world. And the Rockets, Ryan Hollins and the other color commentator, the best player in the world is not in the game. Obviously, that changes everything. It changes everything for the season or for the night for the Denver Nuggets all the way around. So whatever. But y'all, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. I'll be on Locked On Nuggets tomorrow. And then I'll be on Player's Choice tomorrow as well. I got some other stuff I got to do during the day, but I will be on Player's Choice and will be on Locked On Nuggets and all that stuff tomorrow. And then we will also have some other great content coming up for y'all soon. But shout out, man. Unfortunately, weren't able to get the win, but the Denver Nuggets still locked into the 4th seed. The Mavericks lose today. I think the Lakers are currently losing. Let me check these game scores real quick. Golden State's currently winning the game versus Minnesota. 94-86 in the 4th quarter. Miami's currently beating LA in the 3rd quarter by 8. Memphis beat San Antonio. Dallas loses to the Pelicans today. So this is just like the standings are going to continue to stay the same today. So nothing's changed. The Nuggets are now 24-16. They're a full 3.5 games back. Yep, they're 3.5 games back at a 2 seed, and they're a game and a half back of the 3 seed right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, y'all. But make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all my folk. Hey, see you the other side.